welcome back to my channel. Today is the first Friday of June, and in my head, June means summer, and summer means romance. So for this whole weekend, I am going to be reading nothing but romance. Just a quick disclaimer that I am not a fast reader and I am going to be pretty busy this weekend, so don't have high hopes, but I do have a few options and I'm really excited to get to a few of them, so hopefully I do read more than one or two books. And I just want to quickly say that I don't really know what these books are about for most of them. I tend to just go into books completely blind, either based on what other people have rated them or just seeing them everywhere, or just based off of the vibes or the cover, or if I just am interested in reading it. So there's that. I definitely don't have descriptions or recommendations for you. I'm just telling you what is on my radar. The first book that I have on my TBR for this weekend is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I don't know how I haven't gotten to this book yet. Almost everyone I watch or follow on Book Talk, BookTube loves this book. Everyone rates it 5 stars, and yet somehow I've never gotten to it. I picked this book up like 2 weekends ago, and my TBR is already overflowing, so I need to get this off of it, and this will probably be the first or second book I pick up. I'm pretty excited to get into this book. My only concern is that I don't think it's as light and fluffy as the other books on my radar, and I don't know if I'm prepared for the emotions this might bring out of me. Also, I don't even know if it's going to bring a lot of emotions out of me because I really truly have no idea what it's about. But that's the first book on my list. The next book on my TBR for this weekend, which I am most excited to get into, is Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I probably will get to this book first because I'm just really excited to get to it. I started reading Ali Hazelwood books this year and I have been loving them. I did read Not in Love last month so that I could prepare for this book, and all I know about it is that it's about Hark and Maya, I believe, and it's an age gap romance, and I'm just looking forward to getting into it. I think Ali Hazelwood is great at putting out fluffy, easy to read, palate cleansing romances, and I'm just really excited to get into it. The next book on my radar is a young adult romance book, I believe. I actually literally know nothing about this book. I have just seen it all over TikTok and people seem to like it, so I'm gonna give it a try. That book is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I have read 0 books by Lynn Painter, so I am pretty excited to dive into this one. I have seen a ton of people on TikTok that love this book. I got it a few months back. It was the $5 Barnes & Noble Starbucks cafe book for a few months, and I am not gonna pass up a $5 book. So I picked it up and I never got to it, so hopefully this weekend we'll dive into it. This is probably one of the lowest books on my list. I do want to read it. I definitely want to get it off my physical TBR, but I definitely won't be picking this one up first, so maybe I won't like the other ones. Maybe I'll DNF them and then get to this one. We'll see. I have one more book on my radar, and it is a Kindle Unlimited book. I do not have the book, but it is called Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I actually know nothing about this book. I did start reading it. I read about 5% and then I put it down and I took a break from it. I've actually never seen anyone talk about it, so if people have talked about it, I definitely missed that, but so far I'm enjoying it, even though I've barely gotten into it. But I think this will be the book that I read probably at nights because I like to read at night, but I have to read on my Kindle. So we'll see how far I get into that. I am currently 4%, so just a starter, and the rest of these books I have not started. I have about an hour and a half before Love Island comes on tonight, so I am going to start with Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood and see how much I get into that, and I'll be back with an update. This is so cute. She said, this is Maya talking about Rue, and she says, I see her and I have judged her worthy of his love. That's so sweet. I don't like that Hark has a girlfriend. I don't like that kind of, I don't like this trope. I just read Problematic Summer Romance for about the last hour. I am loving it so far. I'm on page 57, chapter 7. I am having such a good time. I'm really excited to continue reading this, but I think I am done for the night. I'm about to go watch Love Island with my boyfriend because he's waiting on me. And then I'll probably get back to this in the morning. If I do read any more tonight, I'll be reading Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino, since that's on my Kindle and I can read that at night. Off on in Problematic Summer Romance is kind of a cliffhanger, but I'm okay with leaving off on it because it's a flashback scene and we're not about to get into the rest of that story. We're going back to present day, which is very frustrating, but so far the flashback scenes are very interesting and I'm honestly loving this book even though I'm not very far into it. I really can't wait to get back to this. So early in the morning I'll probably be reading. Hey guys, it's Saturday morning. I have a few hours to read, so I'm going to pick back up where I was at in Problematic Summer Romance, which was page 57. I think I mentioned this, but so far I am loving this book. It's so good, so fluffy, everything you need for a summer romance, or a problematic summer romance. Last night I did end up reading for a little bit in bed. I got to page 62 in Before We Were Strangers. I'm also really loving this book. It was so hard for me to put down. I really only put it down because I was falling asleep. I knew nothing about this book going into it, and I love Grace's character. I'm loving this book. This is such a good book so far. So yeah, that's all. It's now Sunday. I didn't get to read any more of Problematic Summer Romance yesterday. However, I did read up until page 147 of Before We Were Strangers. And all I have to say right now is I am loving both books. They're both so good. And I am kind of upset because I don't think I'm going to finish either of them in this weekend. I might have to turn this into a reading romance for a week vlog instead of just a weekend. but I am about to go to a little coffee shop and read some more. I think I'm gonna bring Before We Were Strangers just because I think it might be better to bring my Kindle rather than Problematic Summer Romance. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I feel like if I'm gonna be reading in public, reading like a little cheesy romance doesn't feel right. But yeah, I don't know, that might just be me. So anyways, I'm gonna bring my Kindle and we'll see if we get any reading done there. I'm having such a great Sunday morning, so we started our day by going to a little coffee shop in this cute little town that we enjoy walking around in. I read a little bit there, but not as much as I wanted to. And then we walked around for a little while, and then we went to the library, and I wanted to find this book as a physical version so that I could read a little bit there. But I ended up just reading on my Kindle for a while. I got to page 223, and I just have to say I am loving this book so much. I really hated one scene, which was the marriage bet. I did not like that. I did not like that he didn't think that he was the one to need to apologize, and I also just felt like that was very out of character. I guess the point was that they were drunk, and I get that, but I just felt so unnatural to the story. This whole time he has been this thoughtful, caring, kind person. He put her first in every scenario, but not in that one, and I thought that was very weird. Also, the conversation of if he's holding her back or not. I think it was very out of character for him to not want her to pursue something that would accelerate her career and her dreams, especially while he's doing it himself. So I don't think that that's very consistent with his character. I definitely thought that once that would come up in conversation directly, that he would push her to pursue that. I do think that he's just lying to himself in a way, the same way that she is, that she actually doesn't want to go and she actually does want to go to grad school. But yeah, that's bothering me a little bit. I feel like that's slightly out of character. But aside from that, I'm having such a good time. I seriously cannot put this book down. I wish I had nothing to do today so that I could sit down and read all day. But unfortunately, I do have some stuff to do, so I probably won't get back to this until later tonight, and I'm hoping I'll finish this by tonight. Anyways, I'm definitely enjoying this book still. I wish I could get back into it. I don't think I'll be finishing this by the end of the weekend, but I'll definitely have it in my next video if you're curious on my thoughts on it. And this one I am definitely going to try to finish tonight. I am loving this book. I think it's a great book. I love the setting. I love everything about this book. I love the characters. I love the music and photography aspect. I love the friendships. I'm really enjoying this book. I think it's a great book. Yeah, that's all. I'll get back to this later tonight, and then I'll probably give you an update on my total reading for this entire video tomorrow. So that's all. I accidentally recorded this entire clip in slow motion, so instead I'm just gonna quickly summarize what I talked about in this clip. I believe that I was telling you how much I loved this book. I found this book to be so addicting. I literally could not put it down. I ended up giving it only 4 stars. And the main reason for that is I didn't enjoy the scene with the bet, and then I also didn't love the ending. The very end I thought was very cute. However, leading up to the end, there was a bunch of chapters that just really bothered me and really made me mad. I didn't like how the male main character reacted to a certain situation. And then anyways, I went on to tell you about Problematic Summer Romance. I read more of this that night. This was Sunday night, and I was just trying to see how much I could get done before the weekend was over. Well, it's now Monday night, and this video was definitely supposed to end yesterday night, but I ended up reading a little bit more last night, and then this morning I woke up and listened to the audiobook of the last hour or so of this book while I was working, and I just think it should be included because I did read it all weekend and it's a romance book. So I'm just gonna let this one slide and include it. I just want to preface this by saying that this is a good book. I would definitely recommend it to a lot of people if it was what they were looking for. However, I only gave it 3 stars. I don't think that's necessarily a bad rating, but it's just average. I did enjoy this book a lot in the beginning. I did have a lot of fun reading this pretty much the whole time. However, there was just a few issues I had with it, but let's start with the things I liked. I did like the setting a lot. It was so summery, it really set the vibes for summer. I enjoyed seeing Rue and Eli get married. I loved Maya as a character. I loved seeing all of the characters from Not in Love be in this book and from someone else's perspective. However, the romance just wasn't doing it for me. I don't think I am a fan of romances where the female main character is putting more effort or showing more affection than the man. I like a man that yearns, and I like to read about men that yearn, and that's just not what this was giving. Obviously, throughout the book and towards the ending, we started to see more of that, and we started to see what's really going on and why Connor or Hark is the way he is. But that's not my only concern about this book. I also think that the age gap romance aspect of this wasn't done that well. I don't think there's anything wrong with an age gap. I don't think 15 years is a huge age gap, or I don't think there's anything weird about it. However, the amount of times that Hark brought up how weird it was or pushed Maya away just because of that makes you start to think as the reader that maybe it is weird. I don't think there was any bad intentions, and I could definitely see why Hark would feel that way. But for me as a reader, I don't think that it came off the way it was supposed to. I think it made me question how I feel about age gap romances more than I wanted to. I would rather have just enjoyed the story and, you know, the jokes Maya was making about his age and stuff like that. Like, all of that was okay. But Hark's huge issue with it really just takes you out of the story and makes you start thinking their romance is weird even when it's not. And I don't know. I didn't really enjoy that. I think that this still was a good book and definitely could be a good book to read if you're wanting summer vibes, or if you love Rue and Eli from Not in Love. I do think you should read this because it gives more insight into their relationship and Rue as a person, and I really enjoyed that aspect. And I also really enjoyed Maya, but overall it was a 3. I didn't love it. It was pretty average. But I will continue to read Allie Hazelwood's books because so far they haven't been bad. They're either average or they're good, and I enjoy that. Anyways, this is where the video ends. I am pretty proud of myself for reading 2 books in one weekend, a pretty busy weekend. And I'm definitely gonna want to do more videos like this in the future because I had a lot of fun. Anyways, that was so much fun. I enjoyed reading romance all weekend, but I am getting back into my fantasy book because I did put that on hold for this video, and I'll be back with another video next week. Thank you for watching.